Welcome to the Unit 6 Study Guide. Objective 3 video. We'll be working on questions 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay? These will be your review questions since this is kind of our interim test. And so we'll be looking at questions that we've done since test or Unit 1. Okay? So, looking at question number 9, it says a movie club charges a one-time membership fee of $25, which allows members to purchase movies for $7 each. Each is a very good word to underline here because it doesn't insinuate it's just one time of $7. It's $7 every time you get a movie or each movie that you buy. Another club does not charge a membership fee, so there is no membership fee, and sell movies for $12 each. How many movies must a member purchase for the cost of the two clubs to be equal? Okay? Well, if you think about it, the first club is $25 plus $7 if you bought one movie, or it's $25 plus $7 plus $7 if you bought two movies. This is one movie, right? Two movies, and then $25 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 if you bought three movies, and so on. It'd keep going on and on and on. So really, it's 7 times 3. This is another way you could write this as 25 plus 7 times 3, right? Where 3 is the number of movies. So if we don't know the number of movies, we can just use a variable to replace that. So for m number of movies, this would be just $25 plus 7 times m movies. Okay? So this becomes our little equation, so to speak, for the movie club, the first movie club. So we'll do 25 plus 7m. And then the other movie club, they don't have a membership fee, but they charge $12 each. And if you look, it says $7 each here, and we did 7 times m. So that would be the same thing for the second movie club. So it would be 12 times m. And then they don't add a membership fee, so you wouldn't add anything to that. And what do we want to know about these two things? We want to know how many movies. Well, I said down here for m movies, so that's our m. Must a member purchase for the cost of the two clubs to be equal? We want to know when this will equal this. So I'm just going to slap an equal sign in there. And now we have an equation that we need to solve. Okay? So you could subtract 7m from both sides. And you get 25 equals 12 minus 7 is 5m. Then we can divide by 5, and m will equal 5. That's one way we can do it. Okay? Another way you could do it, if you want to take a more, I guess, visual approach to it, instead of going the equation route, is you could just do the first movie club and the second movie club and make like a little table where you compare them. So if you did one movie, it'd be 25 plus 7, which equals 32. And here it would be $12 just to rent one movie. Okay? So then for two movies, you would just kind of really add $7 more. So it'd be 39. And here you would really add $12, so it'd be 24. Are they equal yet? No. So then you go to three movies, and it'd be 46. And then you would add 12 more and be 36. Still not the same. Four movies, and so that would be $7 more, would be $53. and then this would be 48. Okay, go to 5 movies, that'd be $60. 48 plus 12 is 60. Oh, they're equal now, so it must be 5 movies. And then see how we're at 5 movies here. It's the same thing. Logic your way through it, you can get the answer. Question numbers 10 and 11. We'll do these on the same slide. Okay, so it says solve for m. So it's an equation. It's a literal equation because we have only variables in it. And there's our m. That's our variable. That's the one we want to get by itself. We want to isolate it, get it by itself. So what happened to it? I personally like a do undo chart. Okay? So what did they do to m? Well, first they multiplied it by x. So they times by x. Then they added a b. And there's nothing else on that side that they've done to m. So how do you undo that? So they did it going this way, and we're going to undo it going that way. So we're going to subtract b to undo that adding of b. Okay? So I'm going to subtract b from both sides. Now the reason it's called a literal equation is because you're going to write literally what you're going to say. This says y minus b. Well, how do you write that? Well, you write y minus b. Very straightforward. Equals, well, mx will come down, and then b minus b is 0, or it goes away. Okay? So then I'm going to do the opposite of timesing by x, which is divide by x. So I'm going to divide by x, divide by x. Make sure you're doing it for the correct variable, because a lot of times I'll see people take this question and divide by m because they're used to solving for x. But that's not what it's asking you to do. It's saying solve for m. Okay? So the x cancels with the x here. It gives you 1m equals, and then what is y minus b divided by x? It's y minus b all divided by x. And that's our final answer. Not any other way to really do that. So as long as you know it's just set up like a two-step equation. You have 2x plus 4 equals, let's say, 7. Okay? You would subtract 4 from both sides first, then divide by 2. That's essentially what we did. We subtracted that b, and then we divided by the number that we wanted to get rid of. Okay? And here we want to get rid of the x because we want to leave m by itself. Okay? So number 11. This one is getting wrong a lot because people want to just divide 3 and 27, but that's not what this says. While this is a division sign, it is a division sign for exponents only. It's a root sign. It's the third root, which is the exponent division sign. See how it's a little number, the same size as the little numbers here? Okay? That's because it's the exponent division sign. So what you want to do is take your calculator out, okay? And you want to go to math. Oh, turn it on. Go to math. And then once you hit math, you should see the third root. Okay? If it's the fourth root or fifth root, you would use this, and you'd actually type in the number first, then use that. So here, I'll show you how to do that. Let's turn it back on. So I want to do the third root, so I'll type 3. I'll hit math, and then I'm going to use the x one. Okay? So that's saying the third root. And then I'm going to type in 27. I'm going to press enter. And you get 3. And that's because 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. 3 times itself 3 times is 27. So that gives me 3. Now, I told you that this is like the exponent division sign. So we're going to divide everything that's an exponent by 3. So we're going to take that 4 and we're going to divide it by 3. We're going to take that 18 and we're going to divide it by 3. And then we're going to take this understood 1 and we're going to divide it by 3. And so you'll get x to the 4 divided by 3, y to the 18 divided by 3, and z to the 1 divided by 3. And then you're going to make sure all your fractions are reduced as far as they can go. And you can also use your calculator if you're confused on how to do that. So you get 3 and then x, and then maybe you don't know if 4 divided by 3 reduces. So you go 4 divided by 3, press enter, and then hit math, enter, enter. 4/3 doesn't reduce, so leave it alone. Okay? Y to the 18 over 3, maybe you don't know 18 divided by 3 is 6. So you go 18 divided by 3, math, enter, enter, and you get 6. So you take that and you write 6. And then z to the 1/3. Well, 1/3 you should know will not reduce, and so then you'll get your final answer as this. Okay? Question number 12. Factor. Okay? This is exactly what you did in Objective 2 when you solved by factoring. You're just going to factor it like you straight up would. Okay? First thing you want to look for is a GCF. Is there anything that goes into 8, 18, and 9? So I'm going to show you how to do it with your calculator, because either you know how to find those things on your own or you don't, and so you'll need to use the calculator. Okay? So let's try the math. Write 9, and you'll use 8, comma, 18, and you get 2. So there's a greatest common factor of 2. So now you need to look and see if 2 and 9 have anything in common. Now 2 pretty much says any even number will have a common factor of 2. Is 9 an even number? No. But in case you don't remember that, you'll do math right 9 again. You'll type in the GCF, comma, and then you'll type in the third number and see, and it'll give you a 1, which indicates that there's not really a GCF. Okay? So there is no GCF here, so there's none. Okay? And so then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to X factor. Okay? So we're going to do our X, and you're going to do 8 times 9, because that's our A, times our C. Sometimes I said over the rainbow. Okay? And then B goes below. So you got negative 18 here, and then 8 times 9, which was 72, and it's positive. Okay? So now you want to know what will multiply to give me positive 72 and add to give me negative 18. Maybe you don't know those numbers right off the top of your head. Okay? Instead of having to figure them out, what we'll do is we'll use our calculator. Go to y equals. And see how I still have my old one in here? Well, let's say you forgot. You didn't have that in here. So first you're going to put the top in, positive 72, and you're going to put it over x, because it's over the x. It's on the top of the x. Okay? And then you're going to type it in exactly the same again. Oops. And then you're going to add it to x. Okay? You're going to press second and graph, which is the table, and we're going to look for negative 18. Now, you don't actually have to look for negative 18. You can look for positive 18 as well. And since it's the opposite of what we want, the factors will be the opposite of what we want. So if it says positive 6 and negative and positive 12, we need the opposite of that. So what's the opposite of positive 6? Negative 6. What's the opposite of positive 12? Negative 12. So we need negative 6 and negative 12. Now I'm going to pull it back up just to prove to you that that's right. So I'm thinking there should be negative 6. So I'm going to go actually up to negative 6. And if you look, negative 6, negative 12 is negative 18. Okay? So it works. Now we're going to draw our two factors. Okay? We're going to put our a and the x, our a and the x. And it's really half of the number of x's. So if I have x squared here, it's going to be 1. If I had x to the fourth, it'd be 2. Okay? And then you put negative 6 and negative 12. What goes into 6 and 8? Well, that is a 2. Okay? So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bring down the x. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Okay? What goes into 8 and 12? Well, that's a 4. And that should give you a 2 and an x. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. and that's negative also. And these are our two factors. And just so you know you're doing it right, these two numbers should multiply to get you the 8 in the front. You know that one that we had to drop down? 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? So it should give you that front number. And then 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. And that lets us know that we probably have got it right. And you can multiply it all the way back out just to double check if you'd like. Okay? That concludes the Objective 3 video. Please move on to the Objective 4.